football as it is played is a contact sport, no question. But the way these two teams are playing, it is a violent sport. They are bringing it today.
Holding, offense, 10 yards, replay first down.
Here at Delaware Stadium in Newark, Delaware. Scott Graham, Rob Brooks, Greg Murphy along the sideline. Also, Mick Mottinghoff was with us at halftime. Thanks to Mick for halftime features all year long on our college football games here on CN8. This is our final college football broadcast the regular season, and we move right into hoops tomorrow.
And I move right into my lawn tomorrow, which has been neglected as I've been out having fun watching college football.
A little raking tomorrow?
Not a little.
A lot of raking tomorrow?
A lot of raking.
And Bennett lost his footing. First down carries. He tried to make a cut in the middle of the field. No gain on the play. As we said, we're kind of shifting gears tomorrow. And we've got a college basketball doubleheader. You can see where the University of Delaware plays their home games. Carpenter Center here, the campus in Newark, Delaware. We'll be back here before the year is done. But tomorrow it's Temple Santa Clara at 1 o'clock. Temple Rutgers at 3:30 from the Leocora Center in Philadelphia. Looking forward to having you with us as we kick off the college basketball season tomorrow here on CN8. And Connor, modest gain, maybe 3 yards. Keeps the clock running as he crosses 7 minutes left to go. And now it's going to turn out to be a big couple of plays here, or a big play here at the very least, for the University of Delaware with a 3rd down and long. You throw in this situation?
They have to, but I don't see why they would change their game plan now.
They've hardly put the ball up going in this direction today. They've had great success on the ground, but they need a first down to keep the ball away from Gordon and that Villanova offense. And the ball thrown away by Connor. He was out of the pocket being pursued, so the way he threw it was fine. No intentional grounding. And with the line of scrimmage of the 39, Delaware's going to have to punt it away with 6:16 left to go.
Nova really hasn't been able to get a good punt return going all day. With Brian White back.
The punt for Blyler. He got a very good kick away into the wind. And it's marked. And recovered. Jeremy Morgan can be the hero right here. Back at the 12-yard line. The muff putt went through Brian White's hands, but Morgan recovered it. And he keeps the hope of Villanova alive. 6:04 left to go. Wildcats get it back, trailing by 3.
I'm a food truck man. That's all I drive. I ain't got no boundaries. I don't compromise.
You asked for it. You got it. Ford truck season is extended. Get 0% financing on one of the hottest SUVs around, Ford Escape. Or lease an Escape for just $279 a month during truck season. Extended for a limited time. Only at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
Ain't no doubt my king of the mountains built Ford tough.
My original reason for going to the Cherry Hill Wellness Center was purely vain. I was interested in their anti-aging treatments, and I was interested in their vitamin mineral therapy. I found out that I had high cholesterol. Dr. VJ recommended chelation therapy for me, and it worked. I was able to treat my cholesterol naturally, without medication. Today, I enjoy perfect cholesterol, great health, and it was the best thing that I've ever done. I feel great, and I can't thank them enough.
That man's team has 6:04 left to go to try to keep their season alive, and they're dealing with the home crowd here at Delaware. Great game by the Blue Hens. Great comeback by the Blue Hens, down 28-14. They've got a 3-point lead, and the defense trying to hold it as Brett Gordon comes out 1st and 10. From his own 12. And the quick pass, White. First down across the 25 to the 26.
Nova may get some bad breaks, but one thing you cannot do is shake Brett Gordon. He just comes out, reads the defense and throws a strike. He and White right there. They're communicating on another wavelength right now.
Two receivers to choose from now for Gordon. And as he has all day long, calling out protections at the line of scrimmage. With time, Cameron Cross trying to beat the linebacker Mulhern. Well, actually the linebacker Mulhern times 2. He bounced off both Mulhern brothers, and he got himself a gain a little bit more than 9 yards on first down.
They've run this play effectively all day long. Just Cameron Cross leaking out of the backfield. With turnaround Dan Mulhern, he sort of olays Dan Mulhern and then gets popped by John Mulhern.
But he does have his team with his second and short as we cross the 5-minute mark left to go. Gordon, a lot of options on second down. They'll go to Gibson, and he will get first down yardage. Spot him out across the 36-yard line, and that should be enough for the Villanova first down.
Gibson had gotten to the line on that one and no further. And there's Danny Mulhern. And he's just jumping in and squaring up with Gibson, and he stops Gibson dead in his tracks. On the short list for the Buchanan Award in his final game.
Brother Pat was Delaware's captain in 1994. John coming up behind him. Both out of Wallingford and Strathaven High School. On play action, a little swing. Gibson, you try to get him one-on-one with a linebacker. I am surprised we did not see a penalty flag on the block up there at the 45-yard line. A good gain on first down of about 8 yards for Villanova.
Brian White came flying up and gave a block that may or may not have been questionable. But here he looks up the field, then he just leaks it out to Gibson. Now he's just going to turn the speed on Fozzie, and Fozzie's no match. And Ricardo Walker just gets his clock cleaned by Brian White.
That may have been illegal. I think he got enough to the front of him to make it a legal block. Once again, a second down and short. There is White in motion. Linebackers are coming again, and Cross buried under an avalanche of blue. John Mulhern, Nick Fozzie with the hits, and a loss back to the 41-yard line.
On Monday, they brought Dan Mulhern out to the media luncheon, and we got to talk to him a little bit, and he said this is the most fun he's ever had playing the game because he's playing with his brother John. They come out before the game a little bit early and just sort of walk the field together, and here you see John obviously ready to take over from where his brother leaves.
And the crowd showing the appreciation for guys like Mulhern and Fozzie, Joe Minucci, Vince Wilson, Ricardo Walker, the seniors playing their last game. Third down. Gordon almost out of chances, and now he might be. Delaware football, Chris Mooney the recovery, and they are down inside the Villanova 20-yard line.
Chris Mooney making the hero play, picking the ball up and carrying it home. See Gordon stepping up, trying to create some time to make something happen. And Lou Samba comes up behind him and strips that football from him. Then Mooney, you see him carrying it with both hands. He's got that thing covered as tightly as possible.
Samba the strip.
Mulhern sort of kicked it back, and Mooney picks it up and...
Now, Delaware one step closer to celebrating the upset win. 3:22 to go. And to the ground they go. Jenkins cannot escape Isaiah Harrison, the safety who came up to hit him initially. And got help along the way. A loss on the play for Delaware. 3 yards back to the 22. Remember, Villanova can only stop the clock once. You pointed that out earlier. And that could become a factor now as we cross 3 minutes left.
I don't expect to see Delaware putting the ball up in the air anytime soon.
Burnell, who's run for 108 yards and a touchdown today. In the backfield, they go play action, but Connor going to keep it himself. Very smart play as he got away from Jamison Young and then took a slide back inside the 25-yard line. And now the whistles blow with 2:30 left to go in the game. And Delaware called the timeout.
You can see the Delaware coaches going, I called the timeout? Somebody
Oh, no, they changed it around, but it is Villanova having called the timeout. So that is the final timeout for Villanova with 2:30 to go. Andy Talley's team can no longer stop the clock. But they have to come up very big here on a defensive stand. Hold to, at best, a field goal attempt. And then potentially try to come down the field and score a touchdown to win the game. It's a lot of work in 2:30 with no timeouts.
Well, Andy Talley has the man to do it. You know, if there's anybody you want back there at the quarterback position to try and make that comeback, it's Brett Gordon. The University of Delaware has made a very smooth transition from the legend, Tubby Raymond. By picking one of their own, I think they really helped the transition. Casey Keeler played on a championship team for Delaware, and although he's brought a new system, it is still Delaware football at its heart. Guys early in the year lobbied to get names on the back of their uniforms. And, Coach, why can't we get names on the back of our uniforms? Figuring there was a new regime, maybe they could make something happen. And his answer was, that's not how we do it here at Delaware. I didn't have the name on the back of my jersey, and you won't either.
So third down now for the guys without the names on the back of their jerseys, wearing the blue and gold. The Fighting Blue Hens of Delaware. 2 minutes and 30 seconds away from an upset. And a heck of a way to close their season. And at the same time, will likely close Villanova's season.
Villanova does not make the comeback here. They can forget about it. There will be no playoffs for Villanova if they lose this game here.
Not with the 8-4 final record that they would end up with. Otherwise, at 9-3, Andy Talley thinks he's got a pretty good shot. No opponents walked in here and beaten Delaware here at Delaware Stadium this year, so a tall order. But the Wildcats had themselves a 28-14 lead 3 minutes into the second half. They now trail at 34-31.
We've talked all about this being the seniors' last game all afternoon. Last night, Villanova had a dinner for its football team, and at this dinner, the seniors all stand up and talk and say what Villanova football has meant to them, and it's a very emotional night. So they clearly knew what they were walking into here today.
Third down. They've got to get it inside the 9. Burnell's not even going to get close. Raymond Ventrone, who's made a couple of big hits coming up from the safety spot, makes one there. And Delaware, what they're going to do is they're going to allow all the seconds to expire from the play clock, more than likely, and then call a timeout right before 0. It's going to be under 2 minutes that will be left here in the ball game when the time comes.
Quarterback Connor standing right next to the referee so that as soon as that clock gets down, he can make his time. He can get his time out.
1:54 left to go. And now Delaware, if they elect to go for a field goal, would end up putting Villanova into a position where they'd have to score a touchdown to win the game. If they were not to go that way, then Villanova could tie the game potentially with a field goal and force overtime. 1:54 left to go. What a job Connor has done here this afternoon. Let's take it down to Greg Murphy.
Well, guys, we talked about it being senior day here at Delaware, and of course one of the all-timers here for Delaware, Dan Mulhern. What a career he has had. Of course, he's the team captain and a 4-year starter for these Blue Hens. Today marked his 41st straight start. A 2-time All-Atlantic 10 selection as well. With 411 career tackles, he needed just 3 today to move into 3rd place all-time. And, of course, we talked about it, the All-American Buchanan Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Dan Mulhern. What a career for the Blue Hens this year. Guys?
Well, Mulhern now set up on the field goal team. The team captain and 4-year starter has to block that right outside and try to give Scott Collins room to hit what will be a 42-yard field goal and put even more pressure on Villanova. He's doing it into a win. This is a long attempt. Plenty of foot. But he slid it by right. And Villanova now realizes the door is open for them with 1:49 to go. That is a heck of an effort in dealing with that wind, and the wind is pushing a little bit that way. It slid right past the upright, and Andy Talley sees it. He's got his quarterback out there, even though with no timeouts. One more shot at this thing with 1:49 left. And now the crowd becoming a factor here at Delaware Stadium once again. Gordon, who was hit and fumbled on the last drive, with a rolling pocket. And a throw incomplete. They say an incomplete pass. Dominic Santoli was right there, almost had him on a sack. And Gordon flipped it away to avoid the sack and throw the incomplete pass and stop the clock.
It's one of those plays where it's a good play because it worked, but in no way will you see Andy Talley endorsing this play. If they manage to survive this scare here, Andy Talley will not endorse this, any further play like that.
Well, what's going through Gordon's mind is if I'm sacked, I can't stop the clock. This way, the clock stops and I can call a play. Second down. 1:42 to go. Up for grabs and incomplete. John Deeser, the redshirt freshman, was the intended receiver. 1:38 to go, and now a third down and 10.
Maybe Brett Gordon feeling the heat a little bit. That's probably the first bad pass we've really seen him throw all day. This ball sort of gets away from him, gets tipped to the line actually. That's why it's floating in the air so much. Gordon had been throwing strikes all day, and all of a sudden you see one wobbling through the air. I think maybe he's squeezing it too tight, but he got it tipped.
Gordon's got 2 shots here to keep the game alive. With time in the open receiver. It's crossed once again. And he is there for the first down.
That is a very friendly spot.
That's an exceptionally friendly spot to the Wildcats. He got out of bounds to stop the clock. That was his primary concern. It looked like he might be shy of the first down.
A call for a measurement here.
It looked like he stepped shy of the first down marker on his way out. But as you said, a very friendly spot, and it is a first down. Take a good look from this side.
Cameron Cross, knowing that his first job is to get out of bounds and stop that clock, he is well short of that. He crosses that little flag strip there, clearly out of bounds.
First down for the 36. Delaware's defense trying to close the deal. Gordon got his man. Crosses into Delaware territory. Clock stops to move the chains down to the 44-yard line. 1:23 to go. And Cross continues to be a big target today. 10 receptions. Down the middle, White wants the sideline, can't get there. So the clock will continue to move.
Good job by Ricardo Walker to wrap him up on this play and not allow him to get to the sideline. As soon as Brian White sees there's nothing more upfield, he starts sprinting to the sideline, but Walker ties him up along with Josh Cleater and doesn't allow him to get there.
Still moving. Gordon to the middle of the field. Chaz Brown has a first down. That stops the clock again with 48 seconds to go. And now they are moving closer and closer to a potential field goal range. That's not what they got in mind right here, though, from the 33-yard line. They're going to try to win this game right now. Delaware flushing it out of the pocket, and Gordon lofts it and throws it away. Second down with 37 seconds to go.
Gordon has to remember the key to his success all year has been taking what is there. He can't try to force something down the field. On that play, he makes a good play and then he throws it away. Andy Talley smacking on that gum awfully hard right now.
I think anybody who's here has a rooting interest in this game is probably smacking on their gum pretty hard right now, too. Closing seconds, 3-point game. Nova on a drive. Delaware trying to hold. Gordon's got Cross again. And the defender falls down. Cross out of bounds at the 10-yard line with a Villanova first down. 11th catch of the game for Cameron Cross.
Oh, my. Dan Mulhern is going to fall down here. It's Dan Mulhern behind Cross. He falls down. Now Cross immediately accelerates towards the sideline.
Well, here you go. Ball game right on the line right now. 29 seconds left to go. Gordon, 4 receivers to choose from. Firing incomplete. Looking for Shaz Brown. Hagebrook there. Defending down near the 1-yard line. 24 seconds left.
Whenever teams get into these situations, they're just trying to protect the lead. They always leave the middle of the field soft, figuring that the team can't move down the field fast enough without stopping the clock. But Gordon really running this no huddle as effectively as anybody could in this 2-minute drill. They have gone a very long way in very little time.
What a drive for Villanova, trying to keep their season alive. Delaware trying to dig in. 24 seconds left. On second down. Gordon again. And White dancing out of bounds. Gain of just a couple down to the 6-yard line. 21 seconds to go. Remember, Villanova does not have any timeouts left. That takes away any possibility, at this point anyway, of an inside handoff. They've got to throw the football.
They've got to throw it, and they have to throw it on the outside, because if they don't either score the touchdown or get it in, they won't have a chance to bring the kicker on Adam James. And I can't imagine what kind of squirrels are running around in that young man's head right now.
He's had a couple of rough outings and a missed field goal here that would have tied the game a little while back. Third down, big play. Gordon, a little bit of time. The open man, touchdown! He found Brian White. What a drive led by Brett Gordon, and Villanova takes the lead with 15 seconds to go.
These seniors have wanted so much to get to these playoffs, to get the wins necessary to get to the playoffs, and that right there was Shaz Brown, Brian White, Brett Gordon making the plays.
Don't forget Cameron Cross, huge day out of the backfield right there. White just enough to get open inside Josh Creeder. And Andy Talley's team has taken the lead now. 15 seconds left to go. The extra point attempt is good. So now it's a 4-point game. Delaware would need to pull out a miracle here with regard to this kick return, or a Hail Mary potential play in order to win this one. Right now, Villanova is just taking a huge step toward qualifying for the postseason. What a drive.
Get that pocket rolling to the left-hand side. Gordon sets, nice and patient, just taps the ball and waits for White to clear. He's not going to try and force it. He knows that if it doesn't develop, he's got to put it outside the field so they can go for the field goal. Waits for White to finally get across the field and open, and then just plants it there.
He saw him come out of his break, fired it in there with that laser arm that he's shown off all day today. Gordon has thrown for 460 yards. The drive they'll be talking about is this one in the closing minutes of the game with no timeouts left and his team down by 3. He marches him down the field to give him the lead, 38-34. 15 seconds left to go.
Even if this team doesn't make the playoffs, if the committee decides that they're not worthy to be in there, they don't make the cut, they have definitely shown themselves to have playoff qualities. I mean, this is the biggest game as any playoff game, and they've stood up here.
Remember you talking about Ricardo Walker returning every kick as if it were his last?
This is it.
This is probably his last, a senior with 15 seconds to go, and probably not a more important kick return here to give Connor a chance if he can get him out on the field.
I can't imagine the ball getting back to Ricardo Walker. Unless they pitch it to him, I can't imagine it getting back to him.
I would imagine that he is going to take the opportunity to see if he can get a pitch. This is where you'll see your Music City Miracle or Cal Stanford lateral play. Squib kick. It got back to Walker. Look out. Speed to the outside. And dancing out of bounds to the 35 with 10 seconds to go. That's going to give Connor at least 1 to 2 cracks at it. Remember, Delaware does have an ability to stop the clock.
Somehow this squib goes right up the middle of the field between the hash marks and gets back to Walker, and he just takes off, forgets about the wall, just tries to get as much as he can out of this by sprinting around the outside.
Wouldn't be the first time that you saw a Hail Mary attempt. Wouldn't be the first time that you saw one work. We've had a couple of major ones in college football already this year. Connor with only 3 men coming at him. Firing, there's your hook and leg. And good yardage. With 2 seconds to go, they throw it back. And Connor's got the football. And buried to end the football game. They will wonder for a long time, Rob Brooks, whether or not a step it out of bounds and one more play would have given Delaware a shot at it. But Villanova, coming from behind, has won this football game 38-34. Another wild thriller in the history of this series between these teams. And the Wildcats stake their claim to the postseason with a 9-3 final regular season record.
Like I said, even if they don't make it, they can hang their head high. This was a fantastic game, and Casey Keeler's squad, I mean, hats off to them. They really put out in this game. Andy Talley is like a little bit shell-shocked. He's smiling, but I'm not sure if he knows what he's smiling about still.
Well, he is standing by right now with Greg Murphy. Greg?
Well, Coach, just your typical Villanova-Delaware football game, I guess.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's just typical between the two of us. It's just amazing. I mean, the last couple seconds, I said, wow, I don't know if we can do this or not, but our kids did, and they got it done. I think hopefully we're on the way to the playoffs.
Talk about the play of your quarterback, especially in the last drive. He really, he doesn't maybe have the physical attributes of some of these quarterbacks out here, but he just flat out wins.
Yeah, Brett Gordon is he's the best we've ever had. He's just the best. I mean, I love the guy. He's a local kid from LaSalle High School. He's not very big, but he's got a heart bigger than the stadium.
This team, this Delaware team, obviously a tough loss for them. What do you have to say about those guys and the way they played against your football team today?
Well, it's typical Delaware. I mean, they have a great program, fantastic, legendary coach in Tubby, and now Casey's taken over. And I mean, they're as good a football team as there is in the country right now. They're playing great football. This was a playoff game. You saw a playoff game today, no question.
What do you say to the playoff committee now? You sit back and wait and just hope?
Tomorrow's the selection committee at 1 o'clock. We'll be in front of the TV, and I'm hoping we go. We deserve to go at 9-3.
All right, best of luck with that. Congratulations on a great game. Guys, Villanova, Delaware, 900 yards of offense, exactly what you expect out of these two teams. Back upstairs.
Well, Brett Gordon leading a drive that's going to go down in Villanova annals as one of the most incredible and one of the biggest to keep a season alive. 460 yards career high and 62 attempts today, Rob.
Not just a great game, a great punctuation mark on a fantastic career. He'll be third all-time in passing at Villanova. He'll be their most efficient passer ever in the history of the school, and you see him exchanging good words with the opposite players on the other team, and that's really what college football is all about.
Villanova hanging on the hook and ladder for Delaware to try to see if they can get the ball downfield. Works out perfectly to that point. And then the question here is, do you step out, take one more shot with a second or two left? Or with everybody on that side of the field, do you try to throw back behind?
And they tried the latter, and once it got back to the quarterback, Connor, it sort of died. There was nobody else on that further edge for them to work it. You see the A-10 standings here.
9-3 for Villanova. They think that is staked enough of a claim, and that kind of stacked Atlantic 10. You're talking about 5 teams in the top 25. to give them the postseason berth. And don't slight Delaware. They end up at 6-6. An incredible comeback today and a near victory. Rob Brooks, it's been my pleasure to work with you, my friend.
A lot of fun.
All year long. Today's game produced by Bob Anderson and directed by John Anderson. Now for Greg Murphy, Mick Mottinghoff, and my partner Rob Brooks. This is Scott Graham. We thank you for watching. Villanova winner in a thriller here in Delaware. 38-34 the final. We'll see as college hoops begins tomorrow at Temple.
Getting ready for the day, I was up bright and early. There was no sleeping for me. I was up 5 o'clock. Okay, let's get married. It's time to get married. I was very comfortable. I went to, the same Salon Rouge I've been going to for years, and, Cindy did my hair, and I felt so confident in that, and my makeup, Jen was doing my makeup, and I just know that they do such a great job that I was, so happy.
When I arrived at church, everything was cool. Everything was, I was calm. I wasn't nervous at all. All the guys got there. We all got there together. Then it happened. They put you in this little room in the back of the church, and it's so small, and it was really hot. So I'm getting, it wasn't nervous, but it was just anxious to get it over with. Because as soon as the people start coming, they don't want you to look out. They don't want you to see. You have to sit in this chair in this little room and just stare at a wall.
When I arrived at the church, I was very anxious and ready for everything to happen. I was dying of the heat because it was really hot that day, and I wanted to get out. We had a Rolls Royce that drove me and my dad there, and the air conditioning just was not working, and we got out of the car, and